Welcome back to Flower Farm Fridays. It's been really fun this week doing a bunch of gardening. The weather has officially shifted and it's warmer weather, so all the flowers have sprung up. And I'm always thinking, like, how am I going to start the video? And I want to highlight something that's special and new that's happening. And the only thing I can think of was to start off today amongst Barbara's hollyhocks. So I call these hollyhocks Barbara's hollyhocks because a very sweet lady named Barbara Rogues, who was born at Park Winters, sent me the seeds. And one of the sweetest things that she wrote in the end of her letter was that she loved hollyhocks because they grow under the worst of adversity. And hollyhocks, they grow in sidewalks, they grow in alleyways, and they're very easy to grow. And so every time I see them, I think of her. She was the sweetest lady, and she told me so much about the property. She lived here until she was 17 years old, and when she turned 85, we had her birthday party in the dining room, and that evening she slept in the bedroom that she was born in. And she told me a lot of stories, and she was always showing her gratitude and appreciation for being able to come back once Park Winters became a bed and breakfast. And I'll share some of her stories along the way, but back to the hollyhocks. These are her hollyhocks, and they're so cool. All the pollinators are loving them, and when they're in bloom, I always take photos of them for her to send to her daughter, and her daughter loves it. She gets emotional about it. And one of the fun things about Barbara's hollyhocks is that I've been sharing her seeds over the years, so her love has been spreading to other people's gardens. And those of you that have been here and I've shared some of these seeds with you, you've been able to enjoy Barbara's hollyhocks. I'm celebrating these hollyhocks, and I'm celebrating Barbara because she gave us so much confidence and inspiration that what we were doing from the beginning was right and good for everyone. And so when these hollyhocks are all in bloom, I think of her all the time. And Julie, her daughter, if you're hearing me, you're going to get lots of photos this season because her flowers are all over the farm. And so here they are. Look at this sweet little ladybug, just like enjoying the day in there. And then we have like a little bee enjoying it here. And so, like I always say, it's like if you only see these things if you're out in nature and you get to appreciate what's happening around you. I planted Barbara's hollyhock seeds along the road just south of our honeysuckle wall, and intuitively I knew to plant them south of this wall of honeysuckle because it protects it from the winds toppling them over. And like I've mentioned before, plants and trees have a way of speaking to us, even though they don't have mouths or voices. But because I had from experience had some of these beautiful hollyhocks topple over, I realized that they were like too exposed to the wind. And then so when I planted these along the road here at Park Winters, I planted them here, and they're doing great. As you can see, when they're not subjected to the winds, they'll get really beautiful and tall. And I just love sharing these seeds with people, especially because if you knew Barbara, she was such a loving, wonderful lady. And so this garden is a quilt work of many people who have shared seeds or plants or trees with us. And when I think of them, it makes me smile. And I'm sure many of you can relate that having plants or trees from other friends or family members really brings even more joy to our gardening experience. I have to show you what I've said many times is my favorite flower. This is called Scabiosa, and this is what it looks like at its peak. And what I love about it, they come out like black like this, and they turn into this deep maroon. But look at how meaty and beautiful this flower is. And so imagine this like mixed with like roses or a mix of rose, lavender, and these Scabiosa. But these beautiful heads are just so cool. And then like, look at these little tiny white little dots. Isn't that so cool and magical? There's so much that happens from week to week as the gardens unfold, and then the heat just like really sends plants up, and they push out and emerge with all this amazing beauty, that it's so fascinating. I'm so into it that last night I was out in our parking lot till like midnight clipping trees, and because they were uplit and I could see the details. And now with my extended pole clipper, it's given me a whole lot of courage to be able to like clip things that are 7 feet up and not have to get in a ladder and just really open up the trees. So I literally was in the parking lot till midnight last night clipping trees, and I don't know if it's an obsession, but it was beautiful. The stars were out, the moon is getting bigger, and there's just certain sounds and things that you see when you're out in nature, whether it's daytime or nighttime. It's magical, and we live in a beautiful planet. I want to show you how big these flowers are, because I just want to show you for scale with my hand. Sorry to bother you, buddy, but isn't that cool? These are massive, beautiful Matilija hot poppies, and these bees are getting drunk in it. So it's just so cool watching them. They're having a good time. The weather's beautiful today. I intended on showing these red roses growing along the fence a couple episodes ago, and it got away from me, and now I find myself trimming all the dead heads and saying goodbye like to this spectacular showing. I never got to actually show them when they were opening. They were this sort of like meaty, deep red color, and now this is probably the last week for them to do their thing, and they're kind of growing all along this fence here on the north fence of the property. But as you can see, like, some of them are not at their best anymore, but it's still beautiful. I just removed a few dead heads and some like suckers, and I'm gonna let them shine and do their thing this weekend. So cool seeing all this. And to the right of all of them is our fire feature. It's a 24-foot I-beam, and with our ethos of recycling, repurposing, and reusing, this is one of the many features that we've reimagined. And so this I-beam has like a flame that runs through it, and our friends Mike and Shawnee did this, and the art to it is that they put these beautiful rivets on it. Instead of just taking, you know, two simple I-beams and slapping them together, there's this really nice rivets plate, this riveted plate that holds these two 12-footers together to accomplish this span and hold it. And then, so I just love that they added this artistic touch of the rivets along the front. And I have to say, when it glows, it's really beautiful. And of course, every time it's lit, I think of them. And not only do the plants remind me of certain people, but also a lot of the things that are happening here at Park Winners remind me of people, because this has been a very collaborative and beautiful experience working with artisans and other craftsmen that have helped us do all these beautiful, cool things. So part of the fun of enjoying the blooms is cutting some and bringing them inside. I'm going to bring these in. These are actually clippings that I got along the way today that I'm going to put into a vase, because these were just leaning over. They weren't going to be appreciated on the bush. And so I'm going to do an interesting arrangement These are all new flowers. This is the first of the Scabiosa that has unfolded, and these are like very big buds. So I'm excited to see it for the next few months. I wanted to finish off our video here in the Sunken Garden because I want to show you all these beautiful allium that have opened up. And what we have is we have this beautiful purple allium all through the roses around the circle. And so as you walk, there's this like really nice globes of this beautiful plant. And so we have them all around here, and they're also interspersed with the white roses. These are iceberg roses, and these are the teucrium globes, and it's just doing its final flush of this purple blooms that it has. It almost like a lavendery, but that looks like a salvia. All the allium bulbs are here, and they're doing their thing. So if you are around this weekend and you can come on my garden tour, you should come, because these are happening right now, and within a couple weeks they'll be gone. That's how the cycles of flowering happens. So I want to invite you to come on my garden tour when you can, and I want to wish everyone a really great day. I hope you are doing something fun today, playing in your garden or doing something creative.